morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday, September 23rd. There we go. And this video is just going to be a short video. It's just going to be a bit of a life update because I don't really have anything else going on this week, so I don't really have anything interesting to film. And my last couple of weeks have been so crazy and chaotic, and yeah, I don't have much else to film, but I still want to get a video out this week, so I thought, why not do a life update? Because there's been some things going on behind the scenes, or things that might have been missed from other vlogs that I didn't touch on, and so we're just gonna talk about life stuff. Starting off, we've had so many issues with our vehicles recently. So back in April or May, my vehicle broke down, and my husband is a great handyman. He can do house stuff, he can do he did the roof, he can do cars, he is so handy. But even this was stumping him because I have an old car. It's from 2004 or something like that, so it's old, and some of the parts that were broken on it were from they were original parts, and so he was really struggling to fix my car. And so all of from May until now, I have not had my own car, and my in-laws have been so gracious to allow me to borrow their vehicle to go get IV fluids or appointments in the city when we've needed it. And my husband has just been using his car. Well, last week his car broke down too, so we had no cars, and we've been planning to park his car anyways because there's a lot wrong with it as well. And so the fact that it was still running was a blessing. And so now his car broke down too, and so graciously his boss borrowed us his vehicle for the week while we got my vehicle fixed. So now my vehicle is up and running, and so we have one car that works again, which now, knock on wood, we hope to not have car trouble for a while now, hopefully. In the midst of all that, I think a vlog or two back, I had said that we had to rush Momo to the vet because he sliced his toe open, and he's doing great. He didn't end up needing any stitches. They just shaved the area to check to see how deep it was, and it wasn't as deep as it looked, and so thankfully he's doing good. He's in a bit of a frisky kitten phase, being a bit of a turd. He's still teething, and so actually Matt and I pulled out one of his teeth the other day because he had this snaggletooth thing going on. It was out of his mouth like this, and we just felt it would be better if we just removed it for him, and it was very painful for him, but we got it out and he felt a lot better after that. So he is doing good, and he is growing. He's probably around the 5-month, 6-month mark of kittenhood, and so we plan probably in the new year to get him fixed. He's over there. So as long as he doesn't start marking around my house, then he can wait to get the snip until next year. Lucy has also been doing really good. So part of the reason why we got Momo, part of the reason why we got this guy is because, first off, we live in an old barnhouse, farmhouse type thing, and so we had mice last fall, and we tried to adopt a cat, and it didn't work out last fall. And then when there was a litter of kittens, really adorable Siamese kittens, then we decided to take one in. Partly because we're hoping that it solves our mice problem, but secondly because Lucy was pretty lonely. The issue with having a pet when you're chronically ill is I can't get all her energy out, unfortunately. So if I was well enough, or if I had a power wheelchair of sorts, I'd be able to take her on walks, but the furthest I can walk with a cane is to our mailbox and back, which is basically just across the street, and so that's not very far, and that doesn't really get her energy out, even though she loves doing it. And my husband works full-time, and so he doesn't have the time or energy to take her for a walk when he gets home. So he plays with her and plays different things with her so that she does get her energy out, but throughout the day, she was kind of just stuck with lying around with me because that's all I could do. And she's the type of dog that isn't really interested in Like, she's interested in toys, but only if you're playing with her. And so I tried to teach her fetch. She's not a big fan of fetch. She can play catch, but that's exhausting for me because she won't go fetch it if she misses. And so it was just difficult to keep her entertained. And so that's partly why we ended up getting a kitten, is to give her a buddy. And it has worked out so perfectly. They're the best of friends. And if they're not wrestling and running around, they are snuggling, and it's so adorable. And she's been a lot happier since we've gotten him, and so I'm very grateful for that. Okay, let's move on to some like health / like life type updates. If you missed it in like a previous vlog, I was working towards getting all my stuff together to send to a surgeon down in the States. So I got all my stuff together, I expedited it down to the States, and got a call a couple days after my stuff was sent, and so I have an appointment for November. It's just a phone consult to talk with the surgeon about hopefully doing a surgery for MALS and MCAS. So that's where things are at with that. I've been like working towards updating my medical team since getting back from Spain, because none of them knew that I went to Spain, because I didn't know how they would respond. And so I decided that I would keep that a secret until I got back. And for the most part, my team is responding really well to it. I would say that my GP is completely on board with whatever I need, and she's happy to help however she can. My neurologist, he's as on board as he can be, I think, considering it's not his like field necessarily. And he was also like, I'm not going to confirm or deny that Spain is correct or whatever, but if it helps you, it helps you. So that's where things are at with that. And then I did request an earlier appointment with my GI, but I'm wondering if she's avoiding me, and so I did not get an early appointment. She could just be busy, but also I was on a cancellation list. How can you not have any cancellations at all? So whatever. So I see her in 2 weeks, and I'm super nervous about that because she's been pretty vocal about being against going outside of the country for help at all. And so I don't think she's going to be very happy with what I've been doing. And so Matt and I have just been praying, and we've been preparing for this appointment. I will like do a vlog about it, and I will also like show you how I prepare for it, because I definitely don't go in there blind. I go in there with a lot of resources to back up why I've been doing what I've been doing. So yeah, we're gonna see how that goes. It's also like the day before my birthday, so we're gonna make the most of it. We're gonna go on a date afterwards, and I'm really excited for it. Unfortunately, the week of my birthday, I have like 3 medical appointments. Like, oh wait, no, it is 4. One of them is a phone call. So I get to spend my birthday in a hospital, but that's fine. I did last year too. So that's where things are at, like from a medical standpoint. And I guess if you watched my one vlog that was titled like worst gaslighting experience, we know how things went with another opinion with a vascular surgeon in my province. It did not go well. And so I, for right now, am writing off Canada as a potential place to get these compressions treated for now. So otherwise, health-wise, things are like pretty up and down. My POTS was really, really bad in the summer. I was having a lot more pre-syncope episodes and near syncope, which is scary for me because I have never fainted before, and I've come close a lot more in the summer. But I think we hopefully have stabilized that now. Now that it's like cooling off. The weather has been a little bit bipolar, like super duper cold overnight and then super duper hot during the day, but that's pretty typical for where I live. And so I think my POTS is like a little bit steadier. I guess like a little update about that is like my POTS used to be treatment resistant, and so it would jump from like 70, 80 at rest to like 170 and that was on medication. And then since doing IVIG, it's kind of just changed my threshold. So now my resting heart rate is 50, 60s, but I'm still jumping to like the hundreds. But without meds, it typically doesn't jump higher than 130, 140. And with meds, it typically stays, like, it doesn't jump higher than like 120. So that's pretty good, but also that threshold is still like a 70 beat threshold or something like that. And so it still feels just as awful as it did before when I do get symptoms, because that's still a really big jump. So anyways, my POTS is, it's okay. It's not perfect, but I'm not fainting. So that part is good. My EDS pain, I had gone to get a knee brace, like 3D printed to me, and it's a great brace. I really like the brace. It actually made me realize just how wonky my body truly is, because my knee was like twisting, and I could see it in pictures and stuff, but I didn't actually realize it was that bad until I got this brace that keeps my knee straight, and it's been wonderful. I love my brace. My joint pain has been pretty bad recently, but that's also because I've been pushing myself a little bit more. And if you haven't heard of the October slide, that's also when things cool down, the pressures change, and my joint pain goes whoop. So I've been having a lot more joint pain recently, but I'm managing that all right. As for my compression pain, it's been pretty bad. My ability to eat has always been like pretty much non-existent, but I used to still be able to manage a quarter cup of coffee and maybe like like 3 crackers here and there, or a sliver of cheese or whatever, but I'm consistently seeing that completely diminish. So now I can only have like 2 sips of my coffee, and like I'm lucky if I can get something else in the day, which is really frustrating, because I do experience like my tube popping, and that's my body signaling to me that my stomach is empty, and usually eating something helps that, but unfortunately I'm dealing more and more with my MCAS pain when I do eat something, and so it's just not worth it anymore. I used to like take these like bloat gummies, or I still do take these bloat gummies. They used to work, but unfortunately they're not really working anymore, and that's really unfortunate, because it was like the one thing that I had that kind of relieved some symptoms if I did eat something. And unfortunately I do go through like a bottle a week, and that's like 60 gummies, and you're only supposed to take 2 a day, so don't come for me. It is a supplement, and so it was the only thing that was working. So unfortunately, my compression pain is getting worse, and so that also signifies to me that something needs to be done about that. With that as well, I've had to again drop the rate of my tube feeds, so it is like back to basically where I started when I very first got on tube feeds. So that's kind of frustrating, because that means that I'm on feeds for 24 hours a day pretty much. Like it's maybe like 23 and a half, and I get like a half-hour break, maybe an hour break some days. So that is frustrating, but it's also just the nature of my conditions. There's also been some new stuff going on, which is frustrating. It has been happening for a while, but I just didn't really put much thought into it, and then I was having a lot of weird issues over the summer, and so then I brought them to my GP, and we are looking into MCAS. So if you don't know what MCAS is, that is mast cell activation syndrome. It's something that I've like considered before, but it just wasn't at the top of my list, and it wasn't affecting me all that much, so I didn't think that even if I did have it, it's probably not severe. And doctors in my area don't believe in MCAS unless you're having anaphylaxis, which is frustrating. But yeah, we're starting the process to look into MCAS, because I've been having a lot of skin reactions, and this last like weekend I was at a wedding, and the wedding was supposed to be outside, but the weather was not favorable, so we moved into a barn, and it was like a dirt floor barn, and so then they had put down like wood shavings so that her dress wouldn't get dirty. And when I was like a teenager, I used to react to like sawdust and stuff like that, but I haven't done any woodworking since, so I've never thought about it again. And so then when we were at this rehearsal, then I was just like minding my own business and noticing that my throat felt weird. It felt like I was like wheezing. I just had like a lot of really weird symptoms, and they went away as soon as we left the barn, like to go home. So the next day I brought an antihistamine with me for the actual wedding, and as soon as we walked into the barn, the symptoms started again. So I took the antihistamine and was able to better enjoy myself without having symptoms, and so that was frustrating. I've also had really bad like rashing, itching episodes recently, and I'm not just talking like, oh, I just got a little rash and it was a little bit itchy. Like, I literally almost had a panic attack over how itchy I was, and it was like red and angry and inflamed and hot. Like, here's a picture. It was so bad. And so as soon as I take an antihistamine, gone. I also have bought like an anti-itch like cream to put on when I start getting that like sensation of extreme itchiness. Also gone. So I'm just like, I don't know what's going on, but that's been that recently. So we'll see if we look into MCAS. Well, we are going to, but like we have to find a specialist that somewhat believes in it first. I'm probably just gonna close out this video here. So this was just like a sit and chat and update you guys on life stuff. So I'm sorry if it was boring, but this is also just the fill in the blanks kind of video. I did want to show you guys how our cute bowls turned out for our anniversary this year. We went on a date to like this like pottery place to go and paint bowls for our animals, and I wanted to show you how they turned out. This is so cute. So give me a sec, I'm gonna go grab those. Okay, Lucy thinks that I'm like gonna feed her or something, but I'm gonna show you Lucy's first. She's drinking Momo's water. But okay, so this is Lucy's bowl. Sorry if it looks a bit dirty. So I did like this cute eucalyptus and mushrooms type pattern. Super cute. I'm really happy with the way that it turned out. I do kind of wish that I would have done a little bit more paint on the eucalyptus, but I also kind of like the effect that it's like a faded like eucalyptus type pattern. It's always hard to tell even when you do lots of coats. And then this one, matte painted. Lucy, get out. There's like this like reflection. There you go. It's a little Momo. And then I wrote his name on the back. Also super faint, but it's there. So Momo uses his for a water bowl, and this is Lucy's food bowl. So that's how those turned out. They're so cute, and it was such a fun date, and we definitely would like to do it again. It's just super expensive, so it was just like a special anniversary type thing that we did. But I'm going to close out this video here, so don't forget to give this video a like, and if you would like to continue to follow my journey, I would love to have you, and you can do that by subscribing down below. There's 400 of you guys. There's actually over 400 of you guys, which is crazy. I'd actually really love to see my channel reach 500 by the end of the year, but also if that doesn't happen, that's okay. But if you would like to join my journey, I would love to have you, and I would love to see you subscribe. Don't forget that I post every Thursday, so I'll see you guys next week. Bye!